Hello everyone and welcome to the Chicagoland Speedway for the running of the McDonald's McPick 2 300s at Chicagoland. These are the final two races before the chase, a doubleheader weekend for the Crown Royal Truck Series drivers who also had the Mountain Dew Custom Series race earlier yesterday. We are excited to get ready for 54 laps 2 times around Chicagoland, and I am not doing this alone this time. I am joined once again by Peter for the regular finales.
This is one of my favorite tracks. The mile and a half's always put on a lot of excitement. Although this season they've been a little bit lackluster, you could say. A lot of fans have been upset after Las Vegas, Kentucky, and Charlotte due to the amount of carnage that those races saw. And Darlington, the only other speedway that we've been to, wasn't shy of that either. But at a track like this and Kansas, which is basically its clone outside of the straight backstretch at Kansas, this one's got a little bit of curve to it. These races should be a little bit cleaner because I feel that guys are going to want to be more conservative and try and just get in a good points position to make the chase. But at the same time, if you're starting in the back like Logan Cloud, you're going to drive through anybody you possibly can to make it.
And there are multiple storylines, not just for those drivers, those part-time guys wanting to win this weekend, but as well all of the different chase runs. You got drivers like DJ Gibson starting on pole. He is 6th in points and is just only a few points ahead of falling out of the top 8. And without a win, he would not get a wild card slot. Alex Benyako is a driver in 11th. He does not have a wild card slot, but if he wins this race, he could make it. Irving Allison is fighting for the wild card spot as he has a race won, and you see Porta and Bowers. Those two are fighting for the regular season title. And remember, you get 15 bonus points for winning the regular season title as you head into the chase, as well as 5 bonus points per win on the season, unless you are one of those 2 wild card drivers. A lot of drivers up here in the top 10 as well. A lot of these guys looking at it. Who do you think? There's 7 wildcard drivers with wins right now. Who do you think will be able to rise to the occasion today?
It really depends because everybody who has a shot at this championship wants to win today. If you're in the chase already and not Austin Murray and you're not locked in, you want to win because it gets you those bonus points. If you're in the chase with a win, somebody like Carter Friesen who's 7th or DJ Curtis who's 5th, even though they have fairly okay cushions, you want to win, you want to get 2 wins, because if you're the only driver with 2 wins for a wild card, bam, you've got it. If you're outside the chase, if you're Alex Benyako without a win, or if you're like Anderson Reed, Alex Peters, Peter Onjak, Zachary Lello, and maybe even Jose Perez with 1 win so far, you want to get that 2nd win so you can get that wild card.
One other driver to point out, outside of those wildcard drivers, you got Jay Jefferson here. He won this race last season, beating out Jose Perez in a great finish, diving into turn 3, coming out with the victory. But this 48 team has not won since then, and they are 8th in points, just 1 point over Anderson Reed and Alex Peters. Both of those drivers have wins and sit in those wildcard positions, but Jay does not have that win to fall back on in case he falls out of this top 8. He has to point his way in. He needs a good finish today, just like a lot of these drivers. The only one that is safe, Austin Murray, but some of these guys in the back, Zachary Fitzwater, Dusty Neal, they're pretty much eliminated from the chase chances. They don't have to worry about it at all. We're going to go ahead down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at Chicagoland. Get ready for the doubleheader weekend at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 22 Crown Royal Truck Series races this season. Today it's DJ Gibson getting his first career Crown Royal Truck Series pole and first in 2 years of his career in the Zachary Racing Friel Ford. He is looking to lock himself into the chase this weekend, but he has 2 more races to go. The doubleheader at Chicagoland kicks off right after this. With that, the engines are fired for the first of 2 McDonald's McPick 2 300 races here at Chicagoland. Gibson and Benyako on the front row, but a lot of drivers in this field. 7 Onjado drivers have come out to their home track and made the race. 9 tried to attempt it, but Carson Bowers starting the highest up out of them. You got Anderson Reed starting just outside the top 10, as well as Roger Ray in the 05, Dylan Young in the 7, and Casey Mears in the 26th. The rest of the field rolling around. You got Logan Bradley, one boy to mention. He rolls off 7th. And for those Angiato drivers, of course, Peter, a big fan of Angiato. Who do you think might be able to rise to the occasion, possibly win this one for their home team?
Got to think Bowers hasn't won since the Season 2 championship. Reed and Onjek need those wins, and if anybody else could pull it off, although Tim Foster's in a good truck, he's basically mathematically out of the chase, so it'd be a miracle, and it'd be a miracle if he did make the chase, but I think he does have to win both of these races.
That is true. Most of the top 20 have wins, actually. Only 6 of the top 20 drivers do not have wins that are from that 9th to 20th position. Those guys would have to win both of these to pretty much lock themselves in the chase. Coming down the front straightaway, DJ Gibson, Alex Benyaka. The green flag's in the starter's hand. We are racing, and green flag is in the air. 54 laps at Chicagoland, and we are green.
Hustling through the high banks of turns 1 and 2. Looks like we're all clean. Benyako forced up just a little bit high, trying to get some speed off on exit, but it's his teammate, Irving Allison, on the bottom. The 2 orange trucks, Bowers pushing him right from behind, charging their way toward the front in turn 3. Gibson slides up just a little bit. Look at Austin Murray really trying to work his way through there. Gibson almost into the wall up the corner. Can't quite do it, but it's an SBR 1-2 across the line, lap 1. Now Benyako ducking down. This team Boss Shady said that they were all in, and look at that, they are. But contact back there between the 20 and the 53.
Porta shoves DJ Gibson out of the way. That is not good for Gibson. He's 6th in points. He was 4th heading into last week. Had a horrible race, and now he's back in 6th trying to hang on and fight. Again, we have 2 races, though, and if you were around for Pocono, you'd know how the qualifying runs. The full lead lap drivers, they will get their finishing positions inverted for the second race of the weekend, and that's how they start. All the damage trucks and lap down drivers will tag on behind them. Chicagoland is a fast track, and it is slick as there he goes. Stephen Wallace Jr., he's around at the back. Stapleton trying to save it, and we have our first caution of the day. Bowers right on Irving Allison as they're going to come out of turn 4. It looks like Alex Benyako will lead us back around.
Got a big pile up back there. Bowers and Irving Allison were all over each other. We got more in 4. That's Onjek. That's one of our championship contenders. And what was Hagen and Wallace Jr. and is that, I don't know who's in the 72 this week. Those 3 were barreling into that accident scene. Yeah, don't do that, guys.
That's Cody Smart in the 72. Another driver, DJ Curtis, was involved in this one. He is one of the drivers. He's 5th in points, but if he drops out, he still only has 1 victory. Peter Onjak does not look like there's too much damage, just some left side or right side damage to that truck. If you remember last season, the heartbreak of him running out at the end. Stapleton's day is done. Alex Peters is on the apron as well. The field's just trying to pace around there. We'll go ahead and take a look. Alex Peters will duck himself down pit road. It looks like Eli Bright might come down with him. We will get a replay of what happened, the back half of the grid as well. Eric Monaco in that 70. You got Casey Mears in the 26. Jose Perez is coming down early. Peter Onjak's coming down early. So some differing strategies here right off the bat. Go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day, Chicagoland.
Chain reaction crash here at Chicagoland. Starts with Nathan Stapleton being taken 3 wide on the bottom. Trying to get there, gets a little bit of apron, comes up into the 13, comes even further up, pushes 3 wide with the 27. He gets out a big slide right in front of the nose of the 40, but just trying to gather it up into 3. Jake Galloway doesn't know how slow he's going, hooks him into the wall, and these guys on the apron down here just get loose because they're carrying too much speed and all slide up. It's a big pile down here. Here on Project, DJ Curtis Gatton Downey getting some minor damage for their championship hopes.
Stephen Wallace Jr., the victim here in that 27. As Stapleton comes up, he collides into Paul Jackson. 27 slides into the wall. Ray's just going to get a piece of that. Cody Smart has it all woed up, but Casey Mears, Alex Fletcher pile in, as well as Larry Hagan, and that gives the 72 the major damage that we saw to this Smart Motorsports entry.
On board, Jose Perez, and we have had the wrong side of the chain. Not too much damage though from 35. He's got 1/4 of a whole left.
You can canvas all over Chicagoland, but nobody draws up better Ford deals.
Truck month now at Bob Borman Schaumburg Ford. 0 APR. Get 0 APR for 72 months on Escape, Sport Tracks, and more, including the 2010 Fusion and Focus.
Bob Rohrman.
You owe it to yourself. Bob Rohrman Schaumburg Ford, just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road, Schaumburg.
What a beautiful day. He's so dirty. Call Four Seasons.
Dirty air conditioner? Clean it up with a Four Seasons AC tune-up. Lower utility bills, increase AC lifespan, and guarantee a breakdown-free season for only $89.95.
For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons.
Back live here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Alex Benyako, Irving Allison, Carson Bowers, Jay Jefferson, Matty Porter, your top 5 after this long race. Nathan Stapleton, the first driver out. Peter Onjak out last, and the whole field just came down. Fuel only and repairs.
Not the whole field. Only a few came down, and one of those being a champion chase contender, Alex Peters, possibly playing some huge pitch strategy here in that 45. He came down and was fuel only, the only non-damaged car to come down, so can this 45 play some games and get his way up toward the front at the end?
I don't know what I'm talking about there, but we are getting ready to go back green. Alex Peters is the first driver that came off of pit road, just to let you guys know. So 27 drivers still on the same fuel and tires that they started the race with. Coming off of turn 4, the treble turn here at Chicagoland. Benyako, Allison lead us down. Bowers and Porta and Spurley and Reed. Those guys going to jump to the outside with the Dodges, but Irving Allison leads us into turn 1, looking to the inside, of course, against Alex Benyako.
The Dodgers fight 3, 4, and 3rd, 4th, and 5th coming off the corner. Bowers underneath Benyako. Does he have anything for Allison coming into turn 3? Drag race down the angle back straightaway, charging into the corner. The outside gets a big run. The SBR truck surging up top, and off turn 4, it is side by side, many rows deep, but the high side gets a great run off, including that 82, 83, and 48.
Back here now, Bowers trying to fight off Riley Spurley. Matty Porta looking down to the inside. I thought there was some contact further back with Cody Smart as he was dropping through. He has he has the most damage to the trucks that are left on the track, so he's trying to drop back real quick. Irving Allison now on the outside of Alex Benyako, trying to use that outside line anyway. Porta and Bowers now clear. The top 5 pulling away. The rest of the pack 2 by 2 as we go back. Logan Cloud has picked up some spots early on, as well as Zachary Fitzwater. Alex Peters with that better fuel. He might be able to either burn more off or just see if this race goes green. But if you've seen these 1.5ers sideways, Perez, there goes the 7 of Dylan Young and Jose Perez. They spin. They're at the back. We'll see if the caution comes out, if they can straighten it out, and they will. Great job there, but Jose Perez, that might be the final nail in his coffin for the championship chase hopes. Irving Allison and Alex Benyako, the 2 pulling away.
It's incredible. Dylan Young driving there in that 7, an Auto driver. Perez was trying to wreck Onjak there maybe, and those two got together, and Young sacrificed himself for Onjak, nearly dumping him again as they pace their way around. Hopefully they're not going to be a problem for the leaders, but I don't know if that's a dirty move from Auto saying, hey, get these other contenders out of our way, or just good hard racing.
This is getting real aggressive. We'll get a replay on your screen as soon as possible. Battle for 4th as Carson Bowers looks to the inside of Porta. Nice to see this front pack kind of spreading out, but back here a bit tighter together. As you see not Bobo Jones, it's Roger Ray in the 05 this week. And look at Scott Roush in that 01 for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports in a very horrible, pretty much, truck. This truck has not really been the strongest this season for BGM. He's back there as well, but looking back through, just making sure everyone can stay at least green. Doesn't look like we're going to stay clean. As there you see Perez and Young, they are catching up, and Perez, he seems very slow with that damaged 35.
SBR's got a big different strategy here. Those trucks are set up to run that middle groove on the top of the rubber line. You really see it in 3 and 4. Irving Allison really using it on the restarts here. The groove definitely seems to be higher than what it was in the Mountain Dew Custom Series races. Benyako has to muscle his way under Perez, who is up there on that middle groove, but the top 3 sneak by.
Porter's going to be held up here. Carter Friesen going to jump on him. Hopefully Perez will drop through pretty quickly. Dylan Young a bit faster, but it is his first time. The Crown Royal Truck Series truck is Alex Banyako was holed up. Give the race lead now to Irving Allison, but Jay Jefferson not going to let him pull away. He has a truck to beat. He has a setup to beat. He's up here, and look who's in fourth. It's Anderson Reed. Last time out, 2 trucks in the wall, I think, and it's Austin Murray.
Oh, man, Murray got clobbered. This is a huge accident, and yikes.
Peter Onjak sliding through. That might be good for him. Cody Smart destroys it at the end. And, of course, Stephen Walls Jr. just runs in as well. The 1.5 miler package has been criticized a lot this season, and it strikes once again, but we'll have to see. One thing to point out, Jose Perez was right in front of it. I thought the red truck going into the crash, was Jose, but we'll see. Austin Murray, he's totaled. He's trying to win that regular season title. Alex Peters' strategy is going to cost him big time. Peter Onjak might have just saved his championship hopes as he made it through that with minimal damage. Rest of the field coming on in. Jay Jefferson out in front. Irving Allison, Alex Banyako, Carson Bowers, Anderson Reed, your top 5 as they come down pit road.
I'm going to have to see a replay of what happened. I am probably like with the entire viewing audience right now what just happened, but I guess we got pit stops to focus on as the 45-94 take their trucks behind the wall. They are done. 4 tires, no tires. We got accident in the pit lane. Nearly the 57 getting pushing on that 85 into their box, but Jay Jefferson going for 4. A lot of the trucks toward the back make their way in. Who's going to get off first? There comes JJ. Does he beat the SBR trucks out? Yes or no? Looks like it will be yes. A big stop from that 48 team. And Bowers is going to edge out Reed, who jumps up to 3rd. And it's a slow stop from the SBR boys.
SBR guys are taking a long time in there. Irving Allison now coming out as he hits Alex Banyako on the way out. That might be bad for those guys. Banyako's going to lose a lot of time. But already in this race, we've seen the big one strike here at Chicagoland. It looks like that's going to take out many contenders. Controversy here. We'll see what happened to bring out the caution. Jay Jefferson now your new race leader. Carson Bowers sitting very pretty. He's trying to get that regular season title. Even be able to get himself a win. Peter Onjak still on pit road. They're going to try to repair that truck as well as Eli Bright, Scott Roush. Jose Perez needs to get off of the track with that. You see the 44 team, they were pitting as long as they could. They're going to get back out on the lead lap as well as Scott Roush. See those guys pace down. Carter Friesen with that damage. There might have been something horrible going on with that 85, and that could cost him big time as well. Onjak gets himself out. So does Scott Roush and Jose Perez. They will all beat the pace truck out. Go ahead and take a quick look and see what happened to bring out the second caution of the day here at Chicagoland. Coming down into turn number 3, you see Jose Perez up there. Now, Ryan Butcher is going to try an evasive maneuver and dive under Perez and in front of Austin Murray. Murray carries a bit too much speed into the corner under Butcher as Butcher comes down. They both slide, or Murray slides up. Now, they're both going to hit the wall. Butcher and Murray both back it into the wall, but that is not all. Here comes Austin Murray back down the track. Foster's going to get through. Maxwell Fye is the first victim. He gets a piece into Butcher. He's going to make some contact as well. Diego Yepes into that as well, and Logan Bradley. Cloud gets a minor piece of that. Larry Hagan comes flying in. Heavy damage to the 23. Curtis runs into the side of him as well, and then you see the 23 fly up. Eli Bright, Zachary Fitzwater. Pretty much no one else at the back of this grid can really get through. They all crash at some point, but Butcher is out. Murray's out. Monaco's out. Larry Hagan, Scott Roush, DJ Curtis. Many drivers are out. Need a few more angles of this, but a lot of drivers torn up once again at the 1.5ers.
Taking a look here at Logan Bradley as Cloud Cross Racing operates still struggle with the luck problem that they've had basically since they started owning a team. Gets through it so far, into Phi, up the track. He and Diego hit the wall pretty hard and right down there into Alex Peters. A heavy spin into Galloway and then into Onjak. So Bradley might be a little bit dizzy after that one. But Alex Peters got a major piece of that 94, and both of them are out. And Alex Peters' chase hopes are going to take a heavy hit after this one. His strategy did not work.
Larry Hagan's pretty far back in this, but he's one of the drivers that gets the biggest hit. You see up the road, Ryan Butcher and Austin Murray get together. They go sliding. And this track with the banking, I guess they just slide back down. Hagan had nowhere to go. Curtis doors him, and then he goes up the track. Monaco's going to hit him, but thankfully he did not get hit anywhere else on that truck, or it could have been a much worse competition for that number 23.
On board here, the Cowboys putting the Kyle Bull on board camera as he goes for a wild ride. He does a pretty good job of not getting too much damage here in the big one at Chicagoland. Look at that. Many people doubted Alex Fletcher this season, especially because he's fallen off the Mountain Custom Series points, but that was a absolutely championship-worthy move there by Fletcher to make it through all that time.
Under caution for the second time today here at Chicagoland in the first of the McDonald's McPick 2 300s. Big crash here takes out a good portion of the field. Many drivers go into the infield care center, but all of them have been checked and released. Thankfully, we'll bring you guys back to the action here at Chicagoland.
On average, there are over 10 car accidents every minute in the U.S. If you get hurt in a wreck, don't just be another number. Pick up the phone and call us now, and we'll get you every dollar you deserve.
Glenn Renner is a lawyer for you. Call 222-2222.
Back live at Chicagoland after a lengthy red flag period to clean up the carnage that was down in turn number 4. Jay Jefferson leads, Bauer second, Reed third, Spurley Tube fourth, and Zachary DeLello up and inside the top 5. DJ Curtis sixth, Brady Burkhardt seventh, Porta eighth, Kukulon ninth, Paul Jackson up in 10th. Not very many trucks left. Only 27 left on the field. 3 of those drivers a lap down. 4 of those drivers a lap down, actually. Carter Friesen, Eli Bright, Jose Perez, and Dylan Young. 26 left. That puts 22 on the lead lap, and a good portion of trucks out of this one. Going back racing, 19 of 54, not even halfway yet. A lot of drivers still in this one, but Carson Bowers and Austin Murray, that could be a battle for the regular season title after this.
Dodge Ram 1500s line up the top 4. Then it's 2 Zachary Racing Fords behind them and a 99 of Brady Burkhardt. But it's the Silverado pace truck making its way down, advertising that Chevrolet will be in the Cup Series short coming up. But that's not our folks of today. Who's going to make the chase? Who's going to survive here? Green flag, and it's a big launch from the Auto trucks, jumping to the high side of Jay Jefferson.
He's going to dive it into turn 1, trying to hold that inside line. Hopefully these guys can keep it clean. There's half the field left, so hopefully we can see some nice, clean racing. Got 3 trucks slow at the back. Actually, 5. Peter Onjak might be a bit slow as well. He has some damage. The majority of this field still able to race. Now, big move to the inside is Anderson Reed. He's got his first Crown Royal Truck Series win. He wants his second to the race lead here. Bowers and Jefferson contact off of turn number 4.
Oh, we almost saw another big one there between the 48 and the 25. Jefferson and Reed racing to make the chase. Bowers racing for the regular season championship. It's a breakaway here about the top 8 with Burkhardt and Porta catching up to these guys. Kukulon trying to get up here as well.
These drivers up here, some of these guys have been fighting for wins all season long, and some of them have wins in the NSDCA. First driver without one is Sebastian Kukulon. He won the JROC race here last season. He's looking to do it here where it counts in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Sits 8th right now for Rockstar Energy Racing, but trying to improve as he's all over Matty Porta as they battle for the 7th position with Zachary DeLello.
But the fighting doesn't stop for the front. Jefferson and Reed still swapping the race lead. DJ Gibson trying to sneak up here as well, just about 5th. But in 4th, Riley Spurley Tube, he's out of the chase fight, I believe, and he's just minding his own business, but he wants to prove that he can do it. He wants to prove that he can hang on and put it together for a race win. Reed back down to the inside in a walk.
Jay Jefferson, we said he won this race last season. It was with the Cobalt Dodge Ram, and now he is looking to do it again. Out in front in this 48 truck, trying to get those laps led, trying to get those points, and it's important for those points. We have 3 of the chase drivers. They are out of this one, including Austin Murray, but he's already locked in. You also have Alex Peters, pretty much damaged in that, and Gatlin Downey was one of the drivers who had to fight for points, as well as DJ Curtis. Those guys are all out of this one, but we still have the majority of that chase grid fighting, and you got this number 25 of Carson Bowers in 3rd. A bit further back, we can find Logan Cloud in the 13th position. He's also fighting for that regular season title, but he's fallen back to 4th in points. Including that, Matty Porta, one of the forgotten drivers in this title fight. He's up here in the top 10, trying to get himself a regular season title as well.
A lot of these guys are running on this racetrack. We saw the Mountain Dew Custom Series have a different line. They'd be sort of in that middle, but not really as high as these trucks are running. definitely not as low as they were running. So we got 3 wide back here in the mid-pack. I think that's the 82 and the 83 racing there with the 91.
And it is. Paul Jackson also behind that. Look at Tib Foster in this 440. He's just trying to make a top 10 run here as he bodies Brady Burkhardt up the track. Now moving his way into 9th. Logan Cloud now bringing that 91 towards the front. He won 2 races earlier this season at Road America and Kentucky, I believe. But since then, he's really had some bad luck. Now inside this top 10, just trying to hang on, not crash this one. As the top now, it looks like 6 have pulled away. 4 Dodges, 2 Fords, both of those Fords being Zachary Racing. It's 2 TSR, 2 Angiato, and 2 Zachary Racing fighting for this top 6.
Battle there for fourth. Sterling trying to work the bottom under Gibson, but now this is more of a middle feeding racetrack. So we may have lap traffic coming up, I thought I saw in the distance. Yeah, that's the red 35. That's Perez once again, so is it going to result in another accident? We'll just have to wait and see. He is definitely off the pace. Jay Jefferson roaring up the corner. He's got a great advantage. He won't have any trouble, but those guys racing side by side behind him in the 3. Going to have to watch for this. Bowers is going to have to get held up. And honestly, Gibson got held up too.
That pass that Jay Jefferson took was reminiscent of last season's pass as he dove to the inside of Jose Perez for the win. That time, just putting him another lap down. Sebastian Kukulon now catching up to this top pack. He's up battling for 6th with Carson Bowers. As that lap truck goes on through. Jose Perez, the slowest one out of all of them. These guys are kind of fighting back here amongst themselves. Scott Roush, Peter Onjak, and Eli Bright. 2 of those, it looks like, are for position. Yes, the 44 and the 01 are fighting for the 21st, 22nd spots. They are slow. Dylan Young's also back here in the 7. He's 24th, 1 lap down. There's Casey Mears in the 26. He's up inside the top 20. That's some TUP range for that team. Great to have them up there. Carter Friesen making some moves. Zachary Fitzwater also in this race. Dusty Neal, Cody Goforth, Roger Ray, Paul Jackson. Might as well let everyone get some TV time as we're out here. But Jay Jefferson now has a mirror full of Anderson Reed.
These 2, 8th and 9th in the point standings, racing for all they got. The Dodges are great here, and it's going to be an all-out battle for the rest of these race between probably this top 6, if not the top 2. The 2 blue trucks, Cobalt and Penn State, fighting hard.
Third and 4th blue trucks up here are Riley Spurleytube in that Orbit 28 and DJ Gibson in that Friel 53. Neither of these drivers have won this season. One is in the chase hunt. Riley Spurleytube 24th in points. It's been a bad season for him as DJ Gibson now looks to the inside of him. Zachary DeLello also back there. He's been kind of down a little bit. And look at this pack fighting back here as Tib Foster in the 40 as Porta bounces off the wall. But Foster fighting his teammate Carson Bowers. They're up there. Irving Allison, Logan Cloud, Alex Benyako, Brady Burkhardt, the whole SBR gang right in this pack as well. So if something goes wrong up here, these guys could all be out of this one.
A lot of people criticized Angiato for not putting as much effort into Tib Foster as they did the rest of the drivers before the chase rolls around, because Foster was the likeliest to not make it. So they decided to focus on the 25, 41, and 44. But Tib's definitely punching his own weight. He's been caught up in so many accidents this season. And since he's made it through today's, maybe he'll finally get another chance to shine.
He's fighting some top-tier drivers. Irving Allison, he has a win this season at Memphis. You got Logan Cloud in this 91 and Carson Bowers. These guys have been 2 of the big 3 all season long. Of course, Bowers being the only one of the big 3 without that win. Matty Porta now putting himself as the big 4. Up front, Eli Bright focuses his way through the field, as well as Onjak and Scott Roush. That gives Anderson Reed the race lead. Jay Jefferson in 2nd, and now DJ Gibson trying to pull away in 3rd as they work lap traffic. 32 of 54 complete here at Chicagoland. Going to take a quick break, bring guys back to the action here in the McDonald's McPick 2 300 at Chicagoland.
It's Eddie and Jobo in Water Tower Park for United Auto Insurance. So, Eddie, how did the Water Tower survive the Great Chicago Fire?
Probably great insurance, like United Auto Insurance.
What? Eddie, you're making this stuff up.
United Auto Insurance, 773-202-5000. We've got you covered, Chicago.
UAI will help you find top quality insurance at the lowest possible rates.
Get a free quote in minutes. Just call or click today.
Welcome back to the McDonald's McPick 2 300 doubleheader here from Chicagoland Race 1. These 2 trucks, Anderson Reed, Jay Jefferson, have pulled away from the field by about 2 seconds as they get around Reed's teammate from another series, Dylan Young, another NDCS driver participating in this race. But Looking further back, we have a big gaggle of cars back here. That's Kukalan's trying to drive away from Irving. Allison's picked up a lot of ground, especially on these guys. Fully two Foster, DeLello, and Bowers round out this group.
Looking a bit further back as well, there's Alex Benyako and Logan Cloud. Benyako started on the front row of this race. Cloud started in the back, but he's making his way up. Porta has fallen back, as well as Brady Burkhart. Dusty Neal was able to survive the big ones. He's still up inside the top 15 as they run. Cody Goforth sits in 16th, freezing 1 lap down. Roger Ray sits 17th in that 05, and 18th is Alex Fletcher, who made a miraculous drive through that crash. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. sits 19th, and Casey Mears rounds out the top 20. That is all the drivers on the lead lap, as now Carter Friesen leads the drivers 1 lap down. He is in 21st. Anderson Reed, 38 of 54 complete, coming into the final stages. He's pulling away from Jay Jefferson. What would it mean to go 2 in a row for him? A driver who has only won on tracks over 2 miles. This one, 1.5 miles. Hopefully he might be able to break that stigma around that 41 team. But drivers back there, Sebastian Kukalan on fire. Do you think Kukalan's going to be able to gain those 4.5 seconds, possibly catch up to Jefferson and Reed before this race is over?
He would need a caution, or we haven't seen it too many times this season, or he benefits a huge amount on some green flag pit stops. We should be getting close to the end of the run.
That it is 30 laps is about the fuel run here. These guys came in. That caution occurred about lap 15. So lap 45 should be when we will be having some pit stops. So these guys getting to the end of the run. Jose Perez was already down pit road. You got a battle for third as Riley Spurley, Tupi Kukalan fighting for that spot. Gibson in 5th. Now Bowers going to try to work his way around the 7. Carson Bowers, his pit crew has been pretty strong this season. It's got him out pretty far up the grid at Charlotte and other tracks. He's up in 6th right now, and this is big for him. Austin Murray being out of this one, it was 36 points separating Murray and Bowers. Porta is pretty much going to be out of regular season title hopes here, as now one truck is slow. Thought they were pitting there. They're just low on the apron as Kukalan goes by. But Bowers, this could be a big points day for him, possibly get him into a regular season title hope for tomorrow's race. Again, here at Chicagoland, battle for the race lead, Jefferson and Reed.
Side by side. You saw in that clip that they were really taking a different line, running the Mountain Dew Custom Series line. Reed's going to try that here. Gets it really low in turn 3. Well, he didn't really come up because he was side by side, but they dive it into 3, move up a little bit in the corner, diamond the apex off 4. That's how some of those guys in the Mountain Dew Custom Series race were really hauling, making up time last time out. But now it's Jefferson and Reed fighting hard, and I don't know if these two are going to be aligned. These two are alliance partners, these two teams, but this year they aren't, so they're still going to race each other as hard as they can, I think.
Can't even say that for Jay Jefferson. Again, he's 8th in points. If he doesn't win this race, he might not make the chase. And Anderson Reed is the guy behind him in those points, just 1 point away. So any points that Jay can gain over Reed would be big, especially unless Reed wins a second race and could lock himself into the chase. Sebastian Kukalan in 3rd. He's dropped the distance from about 6.5 to 5.8. Carson Bowers clear into 4th. There's a gaggle of trucks back here. Brady Burkhart, Tip Foster in that as well. Logan Cloud, the second group, trying to get help from Carter Friesen. And one last look through the field as they go, just racing around. Casey Mears could be coming up, but Jose Perez once again could go another lap down. Reed and Jefferson continuing to battle. 10 laps to go. The fuel could be drying up on these guys. Do you take fuel only to try to win this race? These guys are out 5 seconds ahead. Fuel only, 2 tires, 4 tires. What do you think's the call if they have to come down and pit?
4 tires and fuel, because you've had about 30 laps on these tires. They'd be screaming. You just lose too much time, I think. Unless, I mean, maybe the top 2 would both benefit from 2 tires, but if one of them takes 4 and the other takes 2, the guy who has 4 is going to drive away with this race.
Sitting here just inside 10 to go, 9 to go next time by. If these guys have to pit, it could only be maybe 3 or 4 laps that they'd have to run on these tires. So 4 tires could cost you a lot, but I think if you're one of these guys up front with the speed, Reed and Jefferson, take those 4 tires. You got the distance to Kukalan, Bowers, DeLello. They're going to have to be the ones to react to you. But as you see, Eli Bright's down pit road as Jose Perez is trying to go 3 wide on these guys for some reason. I think he has slightly fresher tires. I'm just going to check through and make sure no one comes down to pit, but Eli Bright came down. That could be bad for these guys because they might have to come down and take a pit stop for this one.
Remember, fuel mileage didn't matter last year, so I think Jay Jefferson's going to bring it down here, or he just got really loose in the corner. No, yeah, he just got loose in the corner. Fuel mileage mattered last year. Peter Onjak was going to win this race. He was going to win this race last year, and he ran out with like 2 to go. So even if it's only a splash and go, you're going to make sure you get all of that splash.
And Jefferson lost a lot of time there in that 48 truck, a big amount of time as Anderson Reed now makes his way under Casey Mears, putting only 19 cars on the lead lap. All these slower cars is helping him, but the question is, here he comes. He's down pit road. Jefferson stays out. We will see if the 48 team will have to come in, but Reed brings it in. Cucaland staying out. DeLello, Irving Allison coming in. This could be the biggest strategy moments of the race. Let's go ahead and take a quick look and see.
I almost wonder if Anderson Reed last time by had his hand out the window and thinking he was pitting. That's why Jefferson let up so he didn't hit the back of the 41, but Reed just drove a whole nother lap. That may be a big play there.
Now, you got those mind games, especially as Brady Burkhardt actually hits Anderson Reed. 2 tires for Reed is the call right there. Let's go up here as Jefferson's going to bring it on in. Cucaland, Bowers, Gibson, they're all coming on in. The fuel's going to last. Bowers took 2 tires. I don't think you can afford to do that if you're Jay Jefferson. You can't afford to go 4 anyway, as now DeLello is going to drop back. Brady Burkhardt's dropping back. Let's go ahead and see what Jay Jefferson and this 48 team will bring up.
Boy, I think Irving Allison lost even more ground on pit road that time by... Is Jefferson going fuel only?
He goes fuel only. He
Even
wants to win this.
Strategy.
Tim Foster, I think, went fuel only as well. Carson Bowers did. I think this whole group went fuel only.
They realized that they could just make it and they would be fine. 2 tires and no tires balanced out, so they might be able to save a little bit. Somebody got loose coming off the pit road, but has not brought out the caution, I think, so that'll be fine. Here comes Reed. We're going to have 2 tires versus no tires, but Jefferson has a big advantage because of it.
We'll have to see. Reed has been able to drive past Jefferson multiple times this race, but now they have a gap. He has to bring it in. It's going to be 5 laps to go. We'll see how the field cycles out here. Cloud comes down. Bowers now up to 3rd. Tim Foster in 5th. This could be a great day for Onge Auto if they could stay and hang on. Caution is out!
Everybody cycled back onto the lead lap. Don't know why the caution is out. Are we going to have enough time to go back green?
It's going to be 4 laps to go before we go back green. A couple cars. It looks like Roger Ray, his truck destroyed. Zachary DeLello, Sebastian Cucaland as well. Jay's been to the back of Eli Bright. But if this race is called right here, we only have 4 laps to go. This could end under caution, and Jay Jefferson could have just went back-to-back at Chicagoland.
That's big. That is big for Zachary DeLello because he needed probably another win. Brady Burkhardt's got damage as well, you see there on the apron. But yeah, DeLello's championship hopes might have just gone up in smoke like his teammate Alex Peters earlier.
We'll see. Of course, they stayed down. They got the fuel and got out. Hopefully no one's going to be stupid enough to come back down, especially Jay Jefferson. They're going low, but I hope that's just the line that they're taking, and it is. Jay's going to continue on around. Carson Bowers up in 3rd. Could be big for Austin Murray if this race ends up that way. Logan Cloud, I believe, is now a lap down. Yes, he is a lap down, so that's heartbreak for him. But that's going to be good for one driver here. That's Peter Onjak back here, now getting ahead of a few of those guys. Alex Peters out of this one. He was one of the wild card drivers. Irving Allison, Peter Onjak, also wild card drivers. They're both going to finish pretty strong up here if this race ends. Jose Perez and Zachary DeLello both have some issues. They're going to finish about together. And those 2 are the last 2 in the wild card hunt. Their championship hopes are going to go down. We're going to stay live for these next 2 laps, see if we do get the 1-to-go signal this time by. If we do not get the 1-to-go signal, this race is over. Jay Jefferson, hopefully, will be able to sweep this weekend. Anderson Reed comes up short, but a 2-tire call versus a no-tire call. If this race ended under green, do you think that 41, those tires would have been a factor in these final 5 laps?
I really don't know because Jay had probably a 1, maybe even 2-second gap. I don't know if Reed could have done that in that short of time, but he has closed gaps in the past, so it'll be one for the ages, one for the record books, a what if of the NSDCA. But before I hand it back to you, I want to say, because Logan Cloud came down later than everybody else, he may have pit twice. I don't know if that was just an issue, loose wheel, didn't get all the lug nuts on. could have been many multiple different factors, but I think the reason he's a lap down is because he pit twice.
He was on pit road a bit later, so we'll go ahead and check that after this race is over. We'll also get a replay of the one incident we saw as the lights do not go out. That means just 2 more pace laps for Jay Jefferson. It's like he'll be able to win this one. Of course, there was a what it looked like to be a spin when we were watching Jay Jefferson come off of pit road. There was dirt and smoke in the air, and this caution that brought this one out. But Jay Jefferson trying to win this one as long as the truck holds up, does not blow up. Anderson Reed will come home second. Carson Bowers third. DJ Gibson fourth. And Tip Foster fifth. What a day for Anjado. Goes from losing it last season on fuel strategy. Now 3 of the hometown drivers inside this top 5 for the end of this one.
Really helps Carson Bowers out because he's going to have a lot of pressure on Murray for race number 2, and Bowers will invert to the back, but Murray is just going to be back there as well, so they'll both have to work their way up the field for that title. Reed did good. It's really going to help him, but he's got to remember that Jefferson was ahead of him in points, and now Jefferson's going to stay in the chase, especially with that win. Reed, he's going to have to... Let me pull up the point standings here because DJ Gibson survived today. Curtis from 5th is probably going to fall out, so that might give Reed 8th in the standings.
Don't forget Carter Friesen. He's in this race. Brady Burkhardt is out, so that'll give a spot to the 01, the 7, the 8, and most likely the 35 as we are on the white flag lap. But Carter Friesen's also damaged. He's going to finish this race 15th. That is, let's see, that'd be 12 points or 13 points Anderson Reed would have, and then another for leading at least a lap. Don't know who will have the most laps. So that's going to be 14 points gained. So Friesen is going to be underneath Anderson Reed. As well, Alex Benyako, Irving Allison coming out with top 10s could put them up into the top 8 in points, or at least right there. Peter Onjak, though he does crash in this race multiple times, comes home with 17th. And looking at this, it will be Zachary Fitzwater Sr., 13th, will be starting on the pole for tomorrow's race. And Jay Jefferson will only be starting 13th tomorrow.
That's right, because it's only the lead lap cars. It's not everybody a lap down. So Bowers won't really invert to the back, so Murray's going to have a lot of extra work to do if he wants that regular season championship. But I think for all these guys in the wild card, they're going to have to win tomorrow because you got Benyako, Irving Allison. They're going to be so close to guys that are going to slip out like Curtis, but maybe like Zachary DeLello, he might be just out of it, as well as Alex Peters. Who knows? We'll have 54 laps then. But coming down off of turn 4, this time unthreatened by any circumstance, it'll be Jay Jefferson taking home race 1 of the McDonald's McPick 2 300.
That will be the second time that Jay has swept races at a track. He has 4 career wins now in the NSDCA, coming on 2 tracks, Richmond and Chicagoland. A great strategy call for the 48 team. 2 tires would have lost this race to Anderson Reed. It just would have taken too long on pit road. Jay Jefferson puts himself into a possible wild card slot, but more importantly, will boost himself up in the chase, possibly into the top 5, and he just has to survive tomorrow to possibly get in that 10 grid. Anderson Reed's going to pick up a lot, but the thing with Carson Bowers, he knows he wants to win that regular season title. Why? Blake Maurice in Season 1, Diego Yepes in Season 2 won the regular season title. They both went on to win the championship. Bowers and Murray will be fighting for that tomorrow. Matty Porta going to be way too far out. I think he comes home in 9th, but he is still 25 points behind Bowers as well, so you really need both the 88 and 25 to crash. We'll be back tomorrow for Chicagoland. Any last notes from this race you'd like to address?
Not really. We'll have to get replays of those accidents first before that happens, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I think the action's going to be even more intense. Hopefully we don't... Dusty Neal coming out of the pit lane. He's got his boss, Logan Cloud, behind him, who's had a bad race. Cloud gets onto the gas too much than Neal. Misjudges it, and ooh, a big hit there from the 97. They flat spot their tires. That's why Cloud's going to pit the second time, I think, because he had flat spotted tires. Didn't want to finish the race on those. Even though there was only a couple laps left. That was not the reason for the last caution, though.
Kukulon's coming off a pit road. Spurley Tube's a bit slower. Kukulon goes to his outside, and apparently Spurley took took insult to that as they start fighting down the backstretch. Tibbs just looking at this in the mirror and doesn't know what's going on. But Cucaugland gets dumped by Riley Spurley-Tube, and then Zachary DeLello right into the driver's door. Hopefully Cucaugland will be all right. He has been taken to the local area hospital. But as well, Burkhart, Ray, and Goforth hit hard as well. But big crash to end this race here at Chicagoland. With that, it was a entertaining race to say the least here at Chicagoland. A big crash early on sets us up and takes out about half of the grid for a green flag run to the end. Jay Jefferson takes his second win at Chicagoland and his third Crown Royal Truck Series victory. Thank you guys for tuning in to the McDonald's McPick 2 doubleheader weekend here at Chicagoland Speedway, and we will be back tomorrow for yet another Chicagoland race. All 40 drivers will come back. They all have their backup trucks getting out of the hauler. There will be Zachary Fitzwater for Sauber Racing Team starting on pole tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. NSDCA.